What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Dumpster Talk episode. We have a very special guest today. We have Curran Blevins with Greyscale.
What's going on?
We really appreciate you coming on.
Dude, I love this. I live for this. Like the community, the connection, just hanging out with good people all day long. Like this is what it's all about.
This is awesome, and this is a little bit different look than they're used to. And that's all thanks to Curran. So
No. Whoa. I just set it up. I just set it up.
he's the wizard. But we appreciate you coming on and setting all this up and showing me the ropes to all this. We really appreciate it.
You know it.
Sure, I'm excited to see it once it's all
Chopped
and
up.
stuff. Yeah.
And I'm not doing that. Remember, I'm not.
No, I know, but
We gotta look right to this guy right here.
Whiz it up a little bit. Well, we appreciate you coming on. We kind of start off with a little background on yourself. So
Cool.
if you want to share kind of what Curran Blevins is all about.
What I'm all about today, or like 10 years ago.
Before you started in marketing and kind of
Oh.
starting up Greyscale.
So before I started Greyscale, I was a failed rock star. I started playing drums in 8th grade and basically played in tons of local bands. And I was a drummer and I was a guitar player before the Chameleon Club closed. I played there a bunch, opening for a bunch of bands. Did the touring thing and tried college. Really wasn't for me. I went for 3 years, so I'm probably the biggest idiot when it comes to college because I have 3 years and I dropped out. So I actually paid
You're right
a
there.
shit ton of money for no degree. And so did that, did a lot of touring in music. I ended up doing production management, tour management. I was on the production team for Times Square New Year's Eve. So I did that for 3 years. So that's kind of like the biggest event I've ever done is making the ball drop. I've done world tours, been around the world and back. I was home like 35 days in 2 years at one point. So I was just a road dog.
Wow.
You know, just grinding. And left that industry kind of behind after managing artists and doing that for a development job. I worked for a real estate developer, and that kind of got my feet wet into the development space and went from the construction space in the development side. Like I was a production manager / like customer service where I scheduled all the trades, building multifamily homes in Anaheim right next to Disney, and moved back to Pennsylvania when I had my daughter. And now, flash forward a couple years, I've been in marketing for a while, and I've worked for a ton of awesome companies in Lancaster. Got my feet wet, and I've kind of just been punk rock the whole way, where it's like, learned how to do this, learned how to do this, learned how to do this, and I just kept going and adding all of those items like into my quiver, like into like as like an extra tool. And at this point, fast forward, started Greyscale probably 4 months ago, last August, I would say, August, something like that. And it's just been flying.
wow.
That's wild. I actually heard on the last tour that you were filming, one of the kids' moms actually went to school with you, and she said that you were one of the best drummers that she's ever seen. So that was kind of cool putting those two together. But how important was it to kind of having that willingness to learn, like at those different jobs, kind of putting all that into your mix? How important was it to just the simple fact of willingness to learn?
I stay open, right? Like even today, right here, right now, like I'm learning something new. I'm learning about you guys and how to interact with people better, because at the end of the day, people are everything, and the way you communicate with people. And that's something I think a lot of people struggle with, me as well. Like the more I learn how to communicate with people and the more clear I can be and the more like authentic and real with people, I think I'm getting better with that in my age. But I wouldn't be where I'm at today, and I'm not saying I'm shit, right? I'm nobody. Like I'm kind of just a dude doing stuff. But but in theory, it's like I'm a small fish, right? But it's interesting to me because I took the approach and realized I was like, I will do whatever it takes to make this work at some point, right? When I started at Charter, I worked at Charter Homes and Neighborhoods and Rob and all the amazing team there. And like, I was given a chance. I was like a failing salesperson, and they were like, hey, be our video guy. So I went from being the video guy to then like also the guy managing all the social media. I'm like, oh. And then I went to like, managing the team that does all the paid ads. Then I was like, oh, well, then can you start doing some graphics? I'm like, yes. And then it's like, hey, can you do photo too? And I'm like, yeah. And then it's like drone. And it's like, you start adding all these pieces, right, to the puzzle. And the person who took the bet on you in the first place, really kudos to them, because they saw something in the ability to kind of continue stacking those chips, stacking those days, like as a lot of people say. So I think that if people are closed off, you might not ever end up where you thought in the first place, right? Like music was my dream, and now I'm over here running a creative kind of consulting, marketing, photography, videography, like helping friends and people set up their podcast to make them look better, because at the end of the day, it's about people and it's about rising together. Like, it's not all about me. It's about you doing good. And if you're doing good, I'm doing good. If you're doing good, I'm good, bro. Like, we'll build it together.
For sure. Have you always had that kind of in you of teaching people and like helping people learn? Because I've been with you for less than a day and I've learned a lot, and you're very good at just teaching people the easy way, because I wouldn't say I'm the most techie person, so you're very good at dumbing it down for me, which helps. Have you always kind of had that in you?
That's the punk rock mentality, right? Like, I went to YouTube University. I learned more on YouTube and just kind of like watching something on the internet and being like, whoa, like, I want to do what they're doing. How do I do what they're doing? And then I just watched that video 73 different times. Not even them teaching me, like watching a videographer do something and then figuring out how he did it, right? So in order to teach people, like, it's a next generation thing, but it really is, why gatekeep? Like at the end of the day, do I think that tomorrow you're going to start an agency or a company that's going to come for me? Maybe. But at the same time, I don't think you're going to, because I think you are investing in yourself and you're honing your craft. And hopefully 3 years from now, we work on a project together. I know we have projects coming up. We're going to be working together. But that's the exciting part. Like, the more you rub elbows next to me, the better I want to make you. Not because you're going to compete. I don't care. It's like, you're going to do better things here. And if you're doing better things here, then I'll go on to another person and help them be better. And then, someone at some place invested that in me. I don't know who, but I don't really, maybe it's because no one ever did that for me.
Yeah.
No one ever really kind of picked me up and was like, hey, let me teach you all the shit I learned in 10 years in one. Yeah. And I had to do 6 years of crap.
Yeah, it shows a lot about your character, though. Because not too many people, like, you could take that animosity of people, like how you had to figure it out on your own. You could kind of take that animosity and, like, not help people and have them kind of figure it out how you had to. But the fact that you are so willing to help, that's
an issue with the trades in general, right? Like, isn't that kind of like a gatekeeping situation where I've met so many people that are like, hey, like, when I first got hired 40 years ago, they were, kicking me to the curb and treating me like shit, and I was this crap apprentice, and they didn't care about me. And I'm like, well, if you want to get kids invested in the space now, they're the ones who are watching TikTok, and you better be nice to them, because they're not going to come back tomorrow. And if they don't come back, how are your grandkids or your future kids going to be able to have, the highways and all the things that we give a shit about in the world, like the iPhones, right? Like, if no one's mining, how do you have an iPhone?
It's true. It's a great point.
That was really epic. With the
No, this is kind of a sidetrack question. What was your favorite part about the touring? Because being home for 35 days in 2 years is insane.
It's approximate, right? I'm
but
just
it's
kind of
still
throwing
insane.
that out. It is, and I mean, it's interesting because you go from a van to a bus to a different bus to a van to, like, it's just different size tours, right? Not every tour is, Taylor Swift Eras tour, bro.
Yeah.
And I would say the most fun I ever had is you get to do a lot of sightseeing unintentionally, but at the same time, not as much as you think, because you're so busy with what you're doing as like a tour manager or a production person. Like,
take it all in.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, I'm in Berlin, let's go on a walk and see amazing things. It's kind of like, oh, I'm waking up, it's 11, load in, get ready for doors, ready to rock and roll. Like, thankfully you have days off, but I think the most fun thing is it actually opens you up to culture. Like, it, like I've been to Japan twice. I've been to Australia, I've been all over Europe. Like, I've been to all these different places, and it really gives me a strong sense of value in our hometown. And, like, the fact that I lived in Philadelphia, New York City, Southern California, and came back to Lancaster to raise kids, like,
that's wild.
That's kind of like perspective changing. Like, a lot of people in your age, especially, a couple decades younger than me, whatever it is, people are like, I got to get out of here. I got to get out.
Yep.
I've been out. I've come back.
Came back to home base.
Right?
Yep.
And it's like, not just because it's good for kids, but it's like, there's opportunity here. It's like, if you go to New York City, dude, it's hard. It's hard to do that. And, like, I look at the people who make $50 million a year in Southern California. I'm like, how do you afford that house when I can't afford, right?
Yeah. Would you say that built up your appreciation for Lancaster County after all that traveling?
For sure. And definitely, like I said, the culture and the people aspect. So it's like that to me is something that no one can ever take away from me. And it's something that kind of differentiates me, in my opinion, in the space where, you know, someone watching this right now is going to look at me like, wow, I want to do that. Right.
Yep.
And I'm like, as much as like people idolize those people, it's hard, bro. Like it's exhausting. Like I was smoking 2 packs a day. I was overweight, drinking, you know, it's just like, you're just like a shell of a human just going city to city to city to city to city. Like it's hard and it's a grind, but I think that's actually what's instilled with me, my mindset for everything else. Like if you give me $1,000, dude, the stuff I can do with $1,000 coming from like a punk rock mentality background, like we'll have an entire marketing campaign and we'll have like guerrilla street tags and like we can do stuff, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like $75,000 for movies anymore. Like people like us can shoot movies on your iPhone.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the stuff that we have around us, it's not $85,000 cameras. It's not $250,000 worth of gear. It's like, bro, we spend a couple $1,000s and we can do some cool shit.
Yeah. It really opened my eyes when you came for our event a couple weeks ago and filmed everything, and you had that video sent to me by the end of the day, which was insane. And it was one of the best videos I've seen. And
Thanks,
it's just
man.
like it's pretty much a little movie.
Thanks.
And you can do it from the equipment that you have and just one person. So it's really interesting. It gives me hope getting into the marketing, kind of being a little fresh. Meeting someone like you have been great because it's hard to learn. Like YouTube does help a lot when you run into something, but it's great to have someone who's kind of been through those hiccups and has a lot of experience to kind of be there to help out too. Not all the time, but like have a couple days here and there to just have advice has been awesome. It's kind of been rejuvenating, however you say that word.
Rejuvenating,
It's been, yeah, it has been that for sure.
And that's the thing, right? It's like I aim to be in Greyscale. Like Greyscale's concept is to be like this special secret service kind of person that drops into a business. I can quickly analyze with what's going on in your marketing team, and I can fill any of those roles if you want me to. I can do as little or as much as you want, where I've been just the photographer, videographer guy that comes in and leaves. I've been the creative director at a brand. I've been a marketing manager. I've been, all these different roles that I'm able to help in any which way, where that allows me to help a team because that's what it is, right? I don't ever want to just come in and be like, here's what I'm going to do. No. Like, if you don't want to give me the one-liner or tell me what the marketing campaign is, I can figure that out for you. Because if you're not campaigning the marketing, you're not actually going to have the best bang. Why would I want to hurt your business? If you're not successful, you're not bringing me back.
Yeah.
Right? So for me, it's an interesting time for all of us right now, because what you can do for as little as an iPhone or whatever, small cameras, it's like we can do some cool stuff. And I try to find, Lancaster has tons of awesome creative people. So many different creative people. And I just want to fall in this really unique space where it's like, I love telling stories. I love the blue collar space for me is so unique because I'm kind of gritty. Like I'm very gritty as a person. Like I'm sitting here and I'm just like, all right, listen, VPs and CEOs are going to watch this. And it's like, if you're going to get fucking upset with the way I'm talking, I'm sorry. But what I'm going to tell you is if you want somebody that's going to come into your business and eat, breathe, sleep it, and do everything he can to make your shit successful, that's me, right? So I want to be me at all times because there's so many people who really back that. And there's so many people who are kind of like, probably not my thing. But guess what? That's okay.
Yeah.
Because as long as I'm being me and as long as we get along, right? I walk up to an excavator operator out on the job and I'm like, what the fuck's up, man? And he's kind of like, dude, what's good? And I'm like, I'm here to make you look good. How can I serve you today? How can I make sure that I'm showcasing your work effectively? And they're kind of like, me? And I'm like, yeah. And then I show them a video of like the welder I showed you earlier.
Yep.
They're kind of like, bro, like, thank you, right? Yeah. So that's the thing is people have to see past kind of like the punk rock tattoos and the facade because that's not how it is anymore.
Yeah.
You got moms with throat tattoos and knuckle tattoos and swearing, and it's like, do we say that in front of our kids? Absolutely not. This is a persona. This is marketing. This is a vibe, and it's like, I want the day that I come and work with you guys to be your favorite day of the month.
For sure.
I think that's it's cool how you go in and try to like understand like a lot of people could make a video for us or whatever, but until they understand, like I would say you could tell that you came in and talked to Dan and Todd and what we try to market when you did our like event showing all the people walking around. that's probably good to your advantage a lot, like being willing to get in to the people's business and see what it's like. Because if not, it's not gonna feel authentic. How do you feel like for your company, for Grayscale? Is it just you right now?
Just me
doing stuff.
Just me.
How
One man army.
Do you plan on bringing anyone else on as you scale up, or
It's tricky. It's tricky.
because that would kind of like, I guess for now, since you're doing a lot of the work yourself, Grayscale has like a certain feel to it,
Yeah.
and you would want to make sure to keep that while adding more people. I'm sure that'd be hard.
Yeah, it's definitely tricky because, and it's something I've been mulling over a lot right now, just
Yeah.
because I've never started a company. You know, I never had like a vision of starting this. Like the thing for me is I want to help problem solve for people as much as possible. Where I have like a very certain skill set, and this is where you kind of like need to go and get that taken sound, where it's like, I have a very specific skill set, and like you probably don't even know that movie, but I want you like, so in that moment, I want to be able to open the box. And so Grayscale's whole like thing is there's people who need media, but they don't want to spend a ton of money, but they don't want to spend a little money. And I'm struggling because I'm realizing that I can't replicate what your experience is with me with someone else. So I'm struggling with that a little bit because if you're an agency, right? Like the word agency, people have a lot of different mixed feelings on the word agency, where it's like you hire a marketing agency and then you have like 6 people walk in and you're like, who are you? Ted, Sarah, Fred? Like who are these people?
Yeah.
That's not the same as when I walk in the room. We start to build a relationship. We talk. We I start to know the work that you're doing, and I know your schedule, and I know how you're doing it, and I know when the trucks are coming in.
Yeah.
And that's not because an agency can't, but that's just the relationship side of how important this is to me. And so I'm realizing that I'm only as good, Grayscale's only as good as how many people I can do that for.
Yeah.
It's a special gift to have.
Well, thank you. And I'm trying to recognize that because I don't want to go and get 50 clients. Because if I go and get 50 clients, then it's like you're almost like in this fat and happy mentality.
I'm not gonna have that same close
The
relationship.
feel.
Right. And so I'm trying to figure that out. I'm balancing that right now where it's like I do know a lot of good people that are great photographers or videographers or gritty or authentic or in that sort of space. But it's like, how can I grow their talent without like losing what I promised to people like yourself, Saad, or any of these other clients that I have in the space, right? Like when I go and capture for these people, they're expecting Curran to show up. If someone else shows up, they're kind of like,
It's a different feel.
yeah, because like I was saying, my goal is for when I come and capture to be the best day of your month. So how is that the best day of your month if it's no longer the person you've enjoyed the last year or, expectations, yada, yada. So I don't really have a goal to grow it per se, like more clients and more people or more people. But just not to sidebar too much, I am launching a run club, which is totally separate because I operate under stress. Like when you start a new business and when you have a bunch of young kids, and it's like the more stress I can put, like I want the ball for the game-winning shot. I'll always bet on my horses, unless I won't go in a fight that I can't win. I'm not going to go fight Mike Tyson, right?
Yeah.
But it's like I want to bet on me, and so I'm launching a run club that I'm going to be using creative friends and other people to hopefully empower them and employ them to create cool content, to grow their skills. So it's something different, if that makes sense. Instead of me having an army of like creatives and then like not helping clients per se, like I want to then continue to create that community with young people that creates cool stuff, just not in the same space. Kind of like in a
It's
set.
unique.
Yeah, and so then the run club is kind of, I'm actually building it on YouTube right now. I'm doing 1 video a week starting this Friday, whenever this appears. It's every single Friday I'm posting a video and having shorts of it and building the entire brand in public online. Like interviewing friends and stuff at coffee shops, asking them what name I should use and how the logo should look. And it's becoming like a thing where then we help small businesses and do shoe drives and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and it's like,
For sure.
because it's important to bring people together. I couldn't figure out a way to grow Grayscale to have like 37 clients and people.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how to do that. So
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? If I can't do it here, let's use this success I'm having to help stuff over here and do something else.
That's interesting. That's a different way to approach it for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so we always have this kind of, I don't know if you have anything else. This is going to be a little quicker of an episode. I feel part 2 coming at some point, but we always ask this finale question, which is, what advice do you wish someone gave you when you were 21? we kind of came up with this question when we were 19, 20, 21, but we're getting a little older now.
Yeah.
What, 23?
Sir.
I'm 22 now. But what advice do you wish someone gave you back when you were kind of starting things out?
Or even you could do just starting Greyscale. What any advice you wish someone gave you just before that?
Oh man.
6 months ago.
Well,
Anytime.
it's interesting. When I started Greyscale, I took things that I did not like, or like moments where I didn't feel like people were put first in other situations, like clients were put first or whatever that is. So like I promised like, hey, like in this, there's no reason those people are not going to come first. Like it's not my thing, right?
Yeah.
And so I kind of like am able to form the business. But I think the thing that I would resonate with, or whether 12, 16, 24, 34, like whatever it is, if you're starting something, I think you need to remember one thing is comparative advantage. And I say this all the time, where if you can do something yourself that benefits other people greatly, and it's less effort for you, and you're more efficient at it than a normal person. Like both of you need to figure this out in yourselves too. I'm gonna challenge you guys to kind of figure this out, where I have figured out that, I did this creative direction, video, photography, relationship sort of thing, very, very fast and very specific. And then comparative advantage basically means you take the thing that you're better at than someone else, and then fill your weaknesses with people who do things better than you in other places. So instead of you trying to fill, if I'm not good at taxes, why would I waste 3 days of my time doing taxes rather than me shooting for 3 days for clients or working with clients? Find someone else who does taxes better than me. So at the end of the week, both of us are more beneficial to each other and kind of like surrounding yourself. So don't be afraid of competition. Don't be afraid of people who are competing against you, because those are the people you need to grow to build a better team. It's not about, the people who don't care. It's about the people who's hungry as hell. Get those people next to you and find out what they do different than you and what you do different than them, and then actually become like a trident rather than just a spear moving forward, right? Like get all of the different spaces.
For sure.
So my advice is like, hey, find out what you're doing better than someone else with less time, more efficiency, and less effort, and then figure out what they're doing so you can combine your forces together and be more beneficial at the end of the month, end of the week, end of the day.
That's great advice.
Thanks,
That's great
man.
advice. Well, we appreciate you coming on. Do you have anything for us? Do you have anything?
I don't know. I appreciate you getting us set up here.
Yeah, man, I'm excited.
Definitely,
I definitely think we need to get like wings, like the hot ones or something next time. Like we'll do like hot ones or like,
I'd be down for that.
That'd be
what I
awesome.
mean? Like do chicken wings or like I think like an engaging sort of moment.
For sure. We'll have to do a part 2 here soon after the new year.
Love it.
Once I figure this stuff out on my own a little bit, we'll get a part 2.
Cool.
Sure.
Well, thanks for coming on, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode.
See you guys.
See you guys.
Thanks.